Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22. We are back in Butschern, and yes, I don't know if it's sad to say or what it is, but I have mixed feelings about it, but it is our last episode here on Butschern. I had to actually fast forward a day to July, or a month to July, canola. Didn't think about it, but can't harvest canola in June. So I am working with a hired helper right now to get this canola field harvested. It is our last field that we need to harvest. We have harvested all of our barley, and we sold that straight away. And we are working on getting this canola picked up. Let's just take a quick peek at our yield. 98%, not too bad. A little bit shy of max yield, but we'll definitely take it. I hope everyone's having a really good weekend. And there's no way I'm going to let a hired helper finish this field, so we'll be jumping in the John Deere before we get to the end of this field. This canola looks nice and thick. Looks like a decent crop. So yeah, I recorded Thursday night. Everything worked great. Put out the Friday morning Butschern, and didn't actually do much on the computer Friday night. I was kind of tired, and it was end of the week, so I took Friday night off, and I had already had a Saturday morning recording. Let's see, so Friday night, or Thursday night, I did a Friday and Saturday episode for Butschern, and I knew that Saturday I was going to record Sundays and do the last episode. Started up the game, and there was no sound. No sound. Like, not some sound or low sound, but no sound. And I thought to myself, of course, this has to happen now. So, I started doing the troubleshooting routines that we all do and checking things here and there, and just nothing really came to mind. I could not figure out what in the world would have happened. I did the, verify game files. I uninstalled the game, reinstalled the game. I have backups of all the XML files that are in the game, in your My Games folder, Farming Simulator folder. The game XML, input bindings XML, game settings XML. So I looked at those, and nothing seemed out of whack, but I went to an older version of them because I do keep... I'm kind of weird that way. I keep copies of things like that so that if something fails, I've got a backup of those files. And in fact, I used to keep backups of the input bindings XML because for a while there, if you were on PC, lucky us, you console players didn't get to enjoy this bit of fun. I don't think you did, at least. I mean, maybe you did. No, I don't think you did. Mods were resetting our input bindings, our key bindings. So every time I fired up the game, my input bindings would reset. It was just super frustrating. So I got to the point where I would just make a copy of my input bindings.xml file, and when I was done playing, I would just replace the one the game wrecked. Pretty much is what it came down to. Anyways, I was looking. I could not figure it out for the life of me. And I thought, you know what? This is going to be the one time, maybe, I can thank Microsoft sincerely for something that they put into Windows, and it's been there for a long time. I often forget about it, but it came to mind, and it was a restore point. And Windows, you can create restore points, or sometimes it automatically creates restore points depending on what events happen. If there's a Windows update, a restore point's made, that kind of thing. But then I also realized too that I had not set my restore point, I had not configured it to use more drive space, so I knew that I was either going to get one, maybe there were 2 restore points available. I was very lucky that there was a restore point, and believe it or not, from Thursday around 4:30 p.m. crossed my fingers and decided to go for it. And sure enough, it worked. Got back in, fired up Farming Simulator, sounds back. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Still kind of weird. Not sure what happened. Would really like to know what caused this. But I was just happy sound was back. Now, at that point, because I used a restore point, I needed to make a couple, 2, 3 adjustments that I had made since the restore point was made. And there was a piece of software. Here, let me jump on our friend here. There was a piece of software that I installed. Didn't even think twice about it. And it's from a company called Razer. And Razer makes keyboards, mice, a lot of gaming hardware, headphones, you know, that kind of thing. Well, I happen to have a couple of Razer devices. I've got a Razer keyboard, I've got a Razer mouse. And they came out with a beta version of a piece of software called Razer Axon. And what Razer Axon does, besides destroy the volume in your Farming Simulator 22, because mind you, sound worked in everything else I tested. Every other game. In fact, I even tested it in Farming Simulator 19 and 17. It was working fine. It was 22. That's it. 22. I tested it in Crisis. I tested it in Doom Eternal. I think that's the Doom I tested on. Tomb Raider. A bunch of games. It was totally fine. So I reinstalled Razer Axon because what it does, and this is going to sound kind of silly, but it's kind of cool, so don't judge me. It's like a wallpaper. I'm sorry, yeah, a wallpaper. Windows desktop wallpaper software. And you can download these fancy schmancy wallpapers with this software. And they're Chroma enabled, and Chroma is Razer's RGB lighting setup and stuff. I didn't care a ton about that. I actually just like the looks of these wallpapers, and they're animated, but they're not like flashing at you and jumping all over the place. They're just slow animations that kind of change over time, you know. Well, they have sound. And you can enable or disable the sound on them, but they do have sound. Supposedly. I have not heard the sound yet, but they have sound supposedly, because there's a mute and there's a volume deal to it. And I reinstalled Razer Axon after I did the restore point in Windows, and I launched Farm Sim and no sound. And I'm like, what is going on here? And that's the only thing I could think of. It's literally the only thing I did was reinstall that software. So I exited the game and disabled Axon, went back into Farm Sim, sounds back. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. And after some playing around, I thought I had it figured out, because there is a setting in the Razer Axon software called, I think it's called Echo mode, or Eco, yeah, not Echo, be Eco, I guess, that is supposed to allow the software to detect if you're running a full screen application or a game and disable the wallpaper, you know, just to make sure you're not using system resources, that kind of thing. And it was off, and I enabled it, and voila, everything was working. Farming Simulator sound was working, Axon was working. I was a happy boy for about 10 minutes. Then it stopped working again. Sound in Farm Sim stopped working again. And I turned off Razer Axon and sound started working again. So I was just like, nope, that's it. You know. And that's all she wrote. So I feel like I got, you know, it's just weird. It's just weird. And it has to have something to do with the fact that these wallpapers have sound associated with them, is my assumption, and they're taking over the sound card. And it's very odd that it only affects FS22 though. At least, well, I shouldn't say that as a blanket statement, because there could be another game out there, you know, there could be another game out there that it also affects that I just didn't test. So the only thing it affected on my system, at least, was FS22. FS19, 17, and then several other games I tested. The sound worked just fine. I don't know. I guess I'm telling you this if by chance you have Razer Axon, if you've got Razer devices. It's a cool little thing, but just buyer beware on that, you know, just in case something, you run into a problem. I thought it was my audio drivers or something, and I was freaking out, but anyways, that's my story. That's all I've got. that's my excitement for the weekend. What are we doing? We're selling. We want to sell some canola. That's what we want to do. Oh, wow, canola 914, but what's the high on that? 1263. Well, we're going to go to the windmill. You know what? We haven't sold anything at the windmill. So good deal. I'm glad. I'm glad we get to sell it at the windmill. A new sell point that we haven't used, so that's good. And I am going to miss Butschern. I am. But I'm excited about putting some concentrated effort on East Vineland and kicking that into high gear. I think that's going to work out really, really well. I've just been in the tinkering mood lately for my computer and stuff, and that usually means trouble, because I tend to, when I tinker, I find myself getting into trouble. But that's how you learn, you know. That's how I learned, at least. When I had my first computer, should I have taken a right there? When I got my first computer, I broke it all the time. I mean, all the time. I broke it. Can we go down there? Oh, we can. And I broke it, and I broke it. Well, we can go down there if someone else was driving, but I'm driving, so let's just see if I can take this corner. I don't know if I'm gonna fit. We might have to get the old super strength out. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry about the bushes. My bad. My bad. We're leaving town, so you won't have to deal with us anymore. And we are at the windmill. Let's get out and get back in to get rid of our little green cone of GPS-ness. Let's get this canola sold off. We're going to hit 200,000. Yes, we are. Very nice. Very nice. Not a bad profit for some canola. Even more if we would have held on to it. But you know what? We are selling and leaving town. What did I want to check on here real quick? Oh, I know. I keep forgetting. Normal difficulty. Okay. So, I tinker, I break stuff. And that's how I learned. I broke a lot of stuff when I got my first computer. Windows for work groups. Windows 3.1. And then I think I upgraded to Windows for work groups. And wow, man, I got in so much trouble with that computer as far as just messing around with things I shouldn't have been messing around with. Yeah, wow. But I learned an awful lot. In fact, that's kind of where I learned what I know today and started off my career in the whole 9 yards. But don't be afraid to break stuff, you know? I mean, it's a computer. You can fix it. Just be sensible. Make sure you do backups. Set restore points. Oh, yeah. Back up your game, too. FS22. Oh, there's my trailer header. I was wondering where that header trailer was. Do we have a hitch on the back of this trailer? We can't hook up to that thing, can we? Let's find out. I don't think we can. But as far as the game, if you're using, well, if you're on console, you probably don't have to worry too much about that stuff, do you? I'm assuming your games are backed up to, I'm assuming Microsoft backs your games up? Much like Steam does? Oh, we can. Look at that. Well, you're coming with us, header trailer. Yeah, you are. Because that would be super safe. Let's put our hazards of warning on. So we don't get rear-ended. And if we do get rear-ended, we can... Oh! Nope. Wrong button, Brad. Wrong mouse button. There you go. My cruise control side mouse button is just above the disconnect button, so once in a while I fat finger it and disconnect instead of cruise. But it's been so long since I've played on console that I'm not, particularly sure about all of what console players have to deal with anymore as far as that kind of stuff. I'm assuming your games, I know Steam backs up your games, which is nice. I still make a backup of my games. I make a backup of my, like I said, the game, kind of game system file. Nah, I don't know what configuration files. That's what you'd call them. Just to play it safe. All right, let's head back to the farm. I had actually forgotten that we had purchased those greenhouses over yonder. And check the water, and the water is still good. So whoever's picking up this farm next is going to be able to... At least we'll have water at the greenhouses already. The cows and the chickens both have food. Oh. Yeah, right. I forgot about this little hump of goodness. 21,000 liters. 21,000 liters of manure. What's manure fetching us here? Where do we sell? Where do we sell it and how much do we make? Is it worth taking over? I don't think so. I don't think we get much for manure, do you? Digestate lime, slurry, manure. Yeah, not a whole heap and lots. Probably not worth the effort of loading that up if I'm being honest. The girls are doing good, aren't you girls? Good to see ya. Good to see you. Gonna miss ya. Chickens are doing well. Oh, we are at the end of the TMR for the cows, but it's gonna get us through to the end. So we did I mean, we didn't do a whole lot here on Butschern. We bought one field. We bought, well, I guess technically we bought two fields, right? We bought the field that has the greenhouses on it. So this little section right here we bought. And we also ended up buying, what, field 5? So we bought this field. And we didn't really do any production at all. We just kind of fumbled around here for a year or so. I know we did grass, at least, what, 2 cuttings of grass. As far as our environmental score goes, we're just barely making it to the green, which is kind of nice. So we were heading in the right direction, no doubt. And we were getting bonuses for our environmental score for what we were selling, which is really nice. I honestly can't remember if we bought cows. Did we start with 20 cows? It almost seems like we did start with 20 cows, didn't we? I'm not entirely sure. And as far as chickens go, I know we need to... We'll check on our chickens here in a second. This thing here is leased to own, so we need to return this thing, because we do not own it. I don't think... Let's check here. It seems like we also had something else maybe. Yeah, ooh, the Massey. Oh, boy. Sorry to see that go, but we do need to return that. What is purchasing? What's the purchase price on this thing? Oh boy, 93,460. That's actually not bad, but we are going to return it. So bye, Mr. Massey. Sorry to see you go. We kept one of our Masseys. We kept our John Deere. Those were the 2 items that we had leased to own. Let's run over to our chicken coop. Maybe they've just been reproducing. Because I honestly can't remember. I honestly can't remember if we bought chickens or not. Oh, we do have eggs to sell, though. What are eggs going for right now? Eggs, eggs, eggs. Where are you, eggs? Sugar, straw. Must have passed it. Cake, butter, cheese. Why am I not seeing eggs? It's always so hard to see it when you're looking for it. Really? Sunflowers, corn, sugar beets, eggs. There we go. So 2066 at wholesale. We know where the wholesale is. Where is our... Where's our trailer? We've got the sloped bin trailer, but I thought we also had... Don't we own a second trailer? Least used... Man, I clicked all around it, didn't I? Oh, that trailer. So maybe we can use the slope bin trailer, toss them on there. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. All right. I leave the hazards on. I did leave the hazards on. Let's disconnect all that goodness. And let's go over. I forgot that we also had that bale storage over there, but I don't think we've got a little bit of silage in there and some grass and some hay. We can take another peek at that just to see what amounts we have in there. I'm not sure that we've got a... I think we've got quite a bit of straw. I'm not sure. We'll have to take a peek at that. I forget easy. Let's yank this whole thing out of here. And let's see here. So we need to detach each one of these bins. Better turn on some super strength. Oh, apparently that's still attached. Apparently that's still attached as well. What am I doing? Wait a minute. So it's... I thought it was... That's a container. Yep. Okay, it's this container. Alright, we'll set that one off to the side. It's got to be the other container, right? Yep. Thought I did that in the first place. I must not have. Okay, so we've got that. We need to disconnect you. And we will disconnect our spreader. Get in the right gear. And let's get this bad boy hooked up. And let's run over to our chickens. I think we've got a place over here we can sneak in towards the chicken coop. Now, this trailer, I think, is specifically designed for the sloped bottom bends. But, that being said, I don't know why we can't just do this. And if I drive like a normal person, and not like I usually do, can I? See, I don't think it has straps either. Toggle cruise control. Nope, no straps. Alright. Let's, I'll just try and... We'll just drive, you know, a little careful and pick them up if they go flying. They're just eggs, but they're just eggs anyways, so what's the worst that could happen? Where are we going? We're going to the wholesale, right? I hate to let those eggs sit there and rot, so we might as well get some money for them. Yeah, the neighbors are not going to be missing. Are not going to be missing me much. Between all the signs that I've knocked down, the couple brick walls that I ran into, fences that have been destroyed, I would say, yeah, multiple traffic violations. So where do we sell these things here at the wholesale? Is it here? don't think so. I don't think so. Let's run around this way. It did say wholesale, I think, and I'm pretty sure this is the wholesale. Oh, yeah. Another traffic violation right here. Do not enter. Fortunately, we're the only person that's going to be dropping off at the wholesale. Normally, you don't sell eggs over grates like this, do you? I guess you do. Not a lot of money here. Yep, not a great deal. Oh, I didn't actually realize that you got I didn't know you. I guess I didn't realize you got an environmental score bump even on products like that. I thought, for some reason, I thought you only got environmental score bonuses on crops. Interesting. I'll take it. We'll take it, though. Either way. So let's check our... I'm not too concerned about our bale storage. I'm definitely not concerned about if, you know, for the little bit that we have for silage left over. Unless I'm completely off on the silage count, I don't think we do have a ton of silage in that bale storage barn. We probably have, if I remember correctly, I think a decent amount of straw or hay. Hay maybe too, huh? Let's go check. Let's take a peek. All right. 113,000 liters of hay, 113,000 liters of, oh no, 11,000, 113 of hay, 11,000 silage, not too worried about that, 70,000 grass, 55,000 straw. So actually we've got quite a bit of hay, 113,000 liters of hay. I guess I must have been saving it for longer term for the cows. And hay just doesn't have, especially not this time of year, if you're going to sell hay, grass, and straw, I'm pretty sure you're waiting until winter time for that mostly. So I'm not going to haul. Yeah, I'm not going to haul that over. We'll let the neighbors get a jump start. We got a jump start when we started Butschern with some hay, silage, and straw bales. If you remember correctly, some were left for us. So we'll leave some for the next person. That's probably pretty much it for what I wanted to accomplish. Getting our last field harvested and sold off. Kuhn did a good job for us. I did like our gas, our mobile gas tank. I think it's a sharp looking little unit there. It did a good job for us with what we needed. Absolutely. Yeah. A little easier than having to buy a big trailer, I think. Especially for as much as I typically use up gas. That came in pretty handy. I don't run out of gas a lot, but I did here. I sure did on Butschern. This was the trailer I was thinking of. Yeah, we bought this bad boy for picking up bales. I forgot about this thing, the Pong. The Pongy. I don't know if it's Pong or Pongy or what it is. But we started with that cultivator, that trailer. Of course, our mowing gear we started with, a tedder. And the rake down there. Windrower. Cedar? Did we not have a planter? Or is it out on the thing? I forget if we started with the planter or not. Da-da. We've got a cedar, yeah. We had a spreader. I don't think we did have a planter. Nope. So I don't see one. We did end up buying a silo compaction unit that I totally forgot about. There's the Pongi. Not too shabby. It's a fun little map. It's small, but it's a pretty map, especially in the wintertime. I love the winter on Butschern. Very, very pretty. But I'm excited about moving back to Kubota Farms in East Vineland and really taking off on that thing and getting that thing built up. So thanks everyone for joining me on the Butschern finale. I do appreciate it. You all I do appreciate all your views. So stick with me next week. We're gonna kick off some more Kubota Farm and also continue our Throwback Thursdays on Old Family Farm too, and some mishmash of some other stuff. So thanks for your comments. Thanks for joining me again. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you Monday back in East Vineland.